Jennifer Thompson's body forced her to give up her first love. Ever since finding her grandmother's music box, all she wanted to do was ballet. As a little girl, she performed shows in front of her favorite stuffed animal, a bunny named Mr. Simon. Despite warnings from physicians, she continued to push the limits of her body into old age. Aggravating her joints over time caused the cartilage between her joints to degenerate. Eventually, her joints began to contracture, resulting in deformity in her elbows and knees. Her bones grinded against one another, making a crackling sound. Kids nicknamed her Lady Crackle. Several days passed before anyone discovered her body. The autopsy report ruled death by dehydration. Investigators believe she suffered a fall that left her unable to move, as they found multiple bones broken in her wrist, hip, and legs. No one lived within miles to hear her screams for help. People say that you can still hear crackling from within the farmhouse. They swear to have seen the curtains move, and that Lady Crackle awaits to entertain her guests from the afterlife. My stomach turned upon exiting the bright, comforting lights of the van. The farmhouse stood there in front of me, and as I neared the entrance, I felt as if something watched me. Entering the home, I walked to the first room on my left, the dining room. Lady Crackle appeared. It must have been so long since she had guests to entertain. Her singing faded into the darkness along with her silhouette. I looked toward the portraits that lined the wall and trying to match what I had seen standing in front of me. A phone call interrupted my search. Impossible. The phone was off the hook and the cord remained disconnected from the wall. I slowly backed out of the door and returned to my van. Perhaps she wanted to perform on camera. I grabbed a video camera and headed back inside. On my way in, I had the same strange feeling, and there was a knot in my stomach. I looked around and inspected my surroundings, but I could not see anything other than the outline of the farmhouse. I failed to see anything on the small black and white screen of the camera, so I decided to set it down and try something else. The UV light didn't provide much success either. So far I had nothing to go on, and Lady Crackle did not seem too keen on letting me take my time. I grabbed a couple of dot devices and returned inside. I spaced them out along where Lady Crackle first appeared, and picked up the video camera. I hoped the combination of lighting and the video camera would make her feel like performing once again. Nothing appeared. I set the camera back down after some time. I wondered if Lady Crackle also wasn't investigating me. Maybe it was because I had been lost of thought, but all of a sudden I realized that the room was ice cold. It felt as if something sucked all the heat from it. In a room towards the back of the house, a bunny sat on the bed. Mr. Simons? I thought. And grabbed a stuffed bear seated in a chair in hopes of expanding the audience for the show, hoping to lure Lady Crackle back out. I placed him down near the cold spot and returned to the room for Mr. Simons. He was gone. A giggle rang out from the darkness. Footsteps darted past the room. I moved about the house, EMF in hand, searching for activity. Finally, I heard a door open. I ran to where I thought I heard the noise occur. The EMF lit up. Now we were getting somewhere. On my way back to the van, something told me not to turn my back to the house until I was well away from the door. I checked the van's systems and monitors. Nothing happened still. Frustrated, I returned inside once more. Although outside it was in the mid-80s, the room felt as if I had stepped into a walk-in freezer. I turned over my equipment again and repositioned various tools and equipment, trying to find the most optimal spots. After I was satisfied, I realized I had not yet been upstairs. The stairs creaked under my weight. I discovered a Ouija board in the first room I entered. Desperate for some kind of interaction, I took it with me. In hopes of heating up the house, I also turned on the breaker that I located in a large storage room nearby. After briefly checking all the upstairs, I returned to the first floor. I placed the board down in the coldest spot in the house, hopeful that I would get some sort of response. I walked into the other rooms and grabbed more stuffed audience members for Lady Crackle's big performance. The stage was set. However, I was still unable to find Mr. Simons anywhere. Back in the van, the pen levitated from the writing book and scrawled a note. I quickly returned inside, photo camera in hand. In the book, there appeared stick figures in what I believed were ballet poses. I documented the last bit of evidence that I needed to figure out how to handle Jennifer Thompson. The only thing left to do was to cleanse the spirit of the ghost. A light to the bedroom could be seen from outside. A loud giggle rang out from the pitch-black shadows from within the rest of the farmhouse. I made my way to the room where the light had been on from outside. But it was dark. I wondered if I had been seeing things. Then, I heard a small turning of a gear. The sound was eerily similar to the crackling, but somehow even more sinister. A soft melody filled the farmhouse. My chest tightened. My heart pounded. I found a bone I had not spotted in the dining area. I wish I left it alone as soon as I picked it up. The beautiful melody twisted and distorted. Lady Crackle was here. I held my smudge stick up in front of me as she crumpled towards me. Her bones grinded against one another with such force that it sounded like they dislocated with each movement. I ran upstairs, out of breath, and hid behind a small, cushioned chair. The sound of bone crunching persisted. Lady Crackle, dehydrated throat, croaked loudly. She was right next to me, searching. The croaking, the crackling, and the music stopped. I waited a few seconds longer before turning on my flashlight. Without hesitation, I ran down the stairs towards the door. I looked back once more. Mr. Simons was there, sitting on the floor as he watched me go.